Hello and welcome to the Arts 108 Three-Dimensional Foundations and Design for this arts course at Helena College. I'm going to be your instructor, Seth Roby, and introduce you to just the syllabus here. There'll be other videos that explain other parts of this course in detail. Just to give you a quick walkthrough though of my expectations, the syllabus itself is always uploaded on Moodle or our online platforms, and you should be able to access a PDF version of that and reference it throughout the semester. There will be some discrepancies, as you can tell. We're doing this for spring 2021, but you may be watching this video at a later time and see a little bit of change, but the format itself should stay fairly the same. On the syllabus, you will find where the class meets, how long it's going to run for, the materials you're going to need, and my expectations for the class, for your grades, for your projects, and any overall general questions of the course. These syllabus are very important as they are sort of a binding agreement between the student and the teacher and the relationship. So, what I have in here is very serious stuff, and I expect you to read through it and understand or ask questions about it. Some of the main highlights, though, are what I'm going to go over and that you need to be looking for in this class, and please feel free to email me with any questions that I may not cover or may need to give more detail about. There is no required textbook for Arts 108. You will be using your time throughout this class to gather up other materials, and I will be bringing in a lot of resources through presentations and demonstrations for you. There are a lot of interesting three-dimensional and sculptural books that are out there. You can always use them as reference or inspiration, but I'm not requiring you to purchase one. The materials I am requiring you to buy or to have are pretty basic, something like a pencil, or a Sharpie marker. You will need to be making a variety of marks on different surfaces, so that's what those are going to cover. You will need something in order to cut, so you may like X-Actos or have that, or you can use a standard razor knife, box knife. These are even probably cheaper and offer a firmer grip if you don't like the smaller pencil-like X-Acto knives. You will need a sketchbook. Those two sizes are the ones that I accept as they give you the most amount of space to work from. They're also easy still to transport, and they're not too small or too large that they become cumbersome. So I'll talk more about the sketchbook later. You will need a material called plastilina. You can find this at an art supply store if you're here in Helena. The Queen City Framing does have it. It's fairly inexpensive. Usually it's about $3 for a brick. You only need a small amount of it. You don't need a whole heck of a lot. And it's clay that does not dry, just to let you know. So it's not like we need to fire or do anything with this. You can buy it in any color that you like. And we'll need that for the very first project. And then throughout this, you will be buying a variety of materials. I will provide some in the class. And then if you are not able to get some in the class, then you will also have to, find this. But I'm not designing this course where you need to spend a lot of money, and a lot of these materials can just be found. I give you a little breakdown of where you can buy stuff, and there is a discount at Queen City Framing. Here's my information in case you ever need to get a hold of me. The best thing to do is through email. That's the best way to get a hold of me for anything. And I try to respond as quickly as possible, but know that it could be up to 24 hours to hear a response depending on when you sent that email and a certain day. You don't need a computer for this class as far as for designing or anything like that, but you can use one if you like. The course description is pretty straightforward. We're going to be studying three-dimensional design. What that means is art sort of in the round, in the real world, that which is tangible, that we can walk all around it and interact with it. So we will be creating sculptures and studying various forms of space and volume and using materials to explore that. You can read through the learning objectives, as this is what the course will require you to look at. But the next basic thing is the course schedule. Some of these things are subject to change. I set the dates in, so the due dates and stuff are there, but if there is some sort of emergency or something happens that we've experienced before in our world, I would then send out an email saying that, this is going to be moved to this area or bumped around. So, but all of that will happen throughout. But right now, here are, some of the dates that are set through the 15 weeks that we are in this course. Critical dates, things that are due. So all of this you'll find on the PDF version. And like I said, there, as semesters go, there may be some discrepancies. But Sketchbook Project, that's a really big one. And you are in class technically 2 times a week. So every day that you are in that class, whether you're online or you're physically there, you will be doing a sketch. I will not collect these until the end of the semester. I'll repeat that. I do not collect sketchbooks until the end of the semester. So this is a semester's long journey for you using sketches. The sketchbook can be used to help plan out projects, but it's really a sort of a personal exploration of your art and your career and the ideas that come about. I want you to record them. Sketches can be anything. They can be photos. They can be collages. They can be things that you cut out of papers or magazines that you want to reference later. It could be an idea. It could be a drawing, right? It can be paint. It can be any medium. The way I know it's a sketch is that you label it as a sketch. So I want to see on there sketch number 1, sketch number 2, and I need 30 sketches, right? We're basically here 15 weeks, 2 times a week. 30 is your deal. So that's how you're going to do is you're going to turn in 30 sketches to me in the end, labeled numbers 1 through 30. If you have any questions about that, email me or ask me later. You will do a certain amount of projects during the semester. Each one is worth 50 points. And in order to get those 50 points, you'll have to just complete what's attached on there in the project. And I'll go over projects here later. In class or work time, when I give you work time, take it. I plan these weeks out so that way you can deliver a quality product. Anything that's done last minute, especially in this class, will look like it's last minute. 3D takes extra. It's not that you can just quickly whip something out because there's usually something like drawing time or materials products and that you can't just put together overnight. All right, and they represent it a lot more than any other medium that you may work with. So take the time when I give it to you. Critiques are done writtenly and orally, and the written portion is on a project sheet that I'll talk about later. Orally is just that we will have the work hanging up in the classroom, and it's a major part of this class in art making. You make something, you put it up, and it goes through critique. Because really, in the real world, when we make a piece, we may make it for ourselves, but it's seen by others. And so we have to understand those opinions that may come from it. We don't have to necessarily agree with them or conform to them, but it's good to know what they are. And if serious enough, things may need to be altered or changed. Here's a breakdown of how your projects really are going to break down percentage-wise. So if you're wondering how you're going to pass this class, well, there's a pretty big percentage right there. Okay. Instructions, special instructions, if you do need some tools or materials, just please ask me. I should try to accommodate that. I'm pretty serious about art and art making. I believe personally that it's a journey that should incite play and wonder, but it also has strict sort of rigor and discipline to it. So it's a balance, right? It's not all about expression. It's not always about, just what you want to do. There are going to be some hard times when you start making a project. There will be things that you don't like, and I'm asking you to work through those. That really leads into sort of the behavior and a lot of my expectations. You can read through this, but basically what this breaks down to is I'm going to treat you like an adult. I'm going to give you a deadline that's going to be right out in the open. I'm not going to hide anything from you. I'm not going to trick anything from you. You'll know what is expected of you today by the time that you've finished going through all these modules. You will know that with being an adult, that means that you just have to sort of work through things like I stated before. And so my pet peeves really are when people start to let their emotions, I guess, play a little bit too much into getting the work done. So, and that sometimes comes off as showing little to no respect, using a cell phone for other means besides research or listening to music or something like that. Like I can always tell when somebody's, just Snapchatting the entire time. Their work reflects that. You got to clean up after yourself, and you got to, look for the supplies. You need to schedule yourself properly. All that comes from being an adult, and those are my expectations of you. I do not expect you all to become artists. I'm not training artists. What I'm training you to do is critically think, and how can you improve the career or the situations you are going to go into in life using creative means, right? That's what this class is about. If you want to be an art major, this class not only helps you out with graduation requirements, but it does also address those simple questions of how can I make, how can I be more creative, how can I be original, right? Those are pretty tough, and this is the beginning of that. The work itself, I don't give out extra credit. If you miss something, you miss something. That's that. That's just a part of being an adult. And like I said, I will give you all that I expect from you right away. So there's nothing hidden. Late work, I do not accept late work unless it's an excused absence, right? If you miss a deadline because you were at a doctor's appointment, okay, give me some proof of that, and I will allow you to turn that project in at another time. However, you will know your critique dates. So I expect you, whether you have a job or other things going on in life, to mark those days out. That's why I'm giving them to you ahead of time, right? There are no surprises here. So I'm trying to be as flexible as possible. We all have things that go on in our personal lives. That's a part of the challenge of going to school. So I'm asking a lot of you, but it's nothing that cannot be done before. So schedule your time wisely. Attendance and participation. This is a huge part of your grade. You're going to get points for the days that you're in class and participating. If you're there, your work gets better. If you're not there, things start to go into decline really quickly. I do a lot of lectures. I do a lot of demonstrations that require you to be there. If you are doing this via online, I have worksheets along with my projects to sort of help guide you. I'll be posting videos. I expect you to pay attention to that stuff and to ask me questions. I will not know what you are doing if you do not ask me questions. And usually what happens if people who don't ask questions, or at least give me some mode of what they're thinking, all of a sudden I get a project turned in on the due date, and it's way off from what I'm expecting. So you got to stay in contact with me. All right. And that's a part of that attendance and participation. And you will see points that are associated with that. Most of your resources are going to be for viewing, like Google searches and stuff like that. A lot of this information isn't pertaining necessarily to us. It's just giving you the idea of where it is as far as if you need support or what's going on. There is no tests in this class. There are no quizzes. Your projects are representation of that. You don't have to worry about academic dishonesty because you will be taking from sources, and art is about appropriation and borrowing from one another and remaking and making commentary on. So it's not that you have to come up with all new original ideas, because the idea of original is pretty debatable, but the idea is that plagiarism does not exist in art. Okay, so just get that out of your mind right now. You can make whatever you want to make because plagiarism doesn't exist in art. Courses evaluation and disclaimers to the syllabus. We'll talk about that even more so, but you have the opportunity to evaluate this course at the end of the semester. You'll be receiving an email on that. Please pay attention to it and fill out whatever you need to on that. And then I have the ability to change this, but I will always give you information and give you a heads up on that. All right. Thank you, and we'll see you in the next video.